Movie notes on Aquaman 2018 film, 29 July 2024 viewing. It slid out. It didn't latch to the disc case quite right. It even has, the disc even has a trident on it. Ooh, it's like a dark blue, or no, light blue trident on a dark blue background for the main disc, and then the, well, I guess there is for the bonus features disc as well, but that one's like a true aqua, and it's more like transparent and shiny. It kind of blends in. Can you see it? Okay. This is a library copy that I put on hold and picked up today. Actually, I picked it up at the library today. I was like, if there's a movie there, I'm gonna go get it. And there was a movie, so I went and got it. And, like, if one of the movies I put on hold showed up, and it did, so it did. So, and I watched it. Now I'm filming this, and I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And my description for this movie is, for this viewing anyway, is a fiction film about a half-human Aquaman and his quest to assume control over the underwater Kingdom of Atlantis. Ooh, yes. And it was an interesting movie to watch because I am of European ancestry and Native American ancestry of the northern United States of America region. So the Duwamish are of modern-day Washington state, and the Lakota are of modern area in the Lakota of modern-day Minnesota area. So, which is a way of saying I'm descended from multiple continents, relatively north. So, like, when I look out the window, you know, because I live in the greater Duwamish area, I see Douglas fir trees, and I see cedar trees, and I see maple trees, and I see little chicories and western gray squirrels and song sparrows, and they are all brown and gray and white, and, you know, and the trees are just green and kind of a dull, like, matte green. And I watched this movie, and I've lived in the tropics. I lived in Hawaii for a little under 3 years, full time. And this was like a way of saying, you know, and watching this movie, this was like my takeaway from this viewing, my movie notes for this viewing. I am happy with who I am. And it was a really kind of, I moved to Hawaii and a bunch of people were like, you're living in paradise. And I didn't, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of humidity. It's not in my DNA, it's not in my ancestry, it's not part of me. And I didn't really like the weather. And so it's kind of interesting watching this because there's a stereotype about paradise, and my paradise is not Hawaii or the tropics. So that, and I knew that at the time, but I think in moving back here, so when this came out, I was living in California, and moving back further north to closer to, you know, where my ancestors came from originally. It's interesting watching this and being kind of like, I'm at home in the north. I did not quite find Hawaii in the tropics, my paradise, and this was a really weird viewing in the sense of like, it's like, it was kind of like a letting go of Hawaii. It's not my home. And yeah, so it was like this is like a very deep meaning for viewing, and especially for, like, I think it originates, like, this story is like, well, there was the Atlantis before the comic books, and then the comic books, like, kind of comic bookized it, but like, yeah, so it's like, this is a deep takeaway for a comic book movie. Like, yeah, I'm at peace. And Hawaii wasn't my paradise. And I bring that up because there's a lot of, like, tropical scenery and, like, big waterfalls with lush green tropical, like, vegetation / wildlife and stuff, and in like geologic structures, so to speak. And I'm just kind of like, not me whatsoever. And I've learned that through personal experience. All right. So, but I was just watching and I was like, this is a very boring movie. Would it have been more interesting if it had been set in like Arctic tundra and there was none of the really flashy wildlife or flashy scenery? And I was like, you know, it probably would have gotten like 2 views, right? But I would have enjoyed it. So yeah, it's not quite my taste. But I don't think it was geared towards appealing to those of us of Native American and or European descent, right? So in that sense, not my taste, right? Not my ancestral origins and through lived experience. I think I liked Hawaii more when I had just visited it, not when I lived there for multiple consecutive years, full time. So not saying I dislike Hawaii, just there was a yes. So there we go. There was a slight decline in how I perceived the place. And not necessarily the place so much as like tropical conditions in general, or just like, so yeah, not for me. So there we go. So my movie notes on Aquaman 2018 film, 29 July 2024 viewing.